Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Easy Does It, the show where we show you how to do things easy. We are dealing with the easiest way to receive money from abroad. And to our first contestant, Dorothy.
Dolosi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dorothy, your answer, please.
Flexible, of course.
Nope.
Wait. The answer you have, do you get the real money they have sent to you? Not those things of they tell you, Maya sent this money, then after you reach it, then they tell you money charges.
You're lying.
Another one. Do you stand to be among the 4 people who win 500k just for receiving money from abroad?
No. You mean Flexible does all that?
Hey, zero fees, just full amounts.
Receive full amounts at no charge from over 20 countries across Europe, Asia, and Africa with FlexiPay. Dial *291# or download the app to get started. For more information, call 0800-251-251 or visit our website at stanbicbank.co.ug.
In business, you only get one chance to make a great first impression. Observe the panic in his eyes, the tension in his shoulders. Shh, he's about to bolt. Watch. And there he goes. You're not getting that customer back. Your website is your waiting room. Make a great first impression with CookieBot's customizable cookie banners and start building trust through privacy-led marketing. Get started for free at cookiebot.com.
Let me share with you something that Brett said that is interesting, and I know will interest you as well. In his groundbreaking work, which is Breaking Banks, the innovators, rogues, strategists rebooting banking, where you said, the key skill that sets in the new world will belong to the data scientists who understand why, when, and how customers use
to
banking
trail
products.
together in harmony. We believe that we're in one accord, and whatever we're going to do today, we call upon the wisdom of God to lead us and to submit under the hand of the Lord, and also every person that is going to stand here to feed us with the wisdom that's going to help us expand and be great citizens. In the name of Jesus, amen. Amen. Okay.
Strikes both fear.
Before we get to hear from other speakers, with whatever they have cooked today, I'm so excited and I'm looking forward.
In the heart of everybody in the financial industry.
We are beginning with the arrivals. You're already here. We're still waiting for other people to come. As usual, we have the African time and the European time. So we believe maybe some of our members are still coming, considering the time, but thank you for keeping time. It's really adorable. And feel free to network. You can always say hi to your neighbor. We are brothers and sisters. You've already networked for an hour. I haven't networked with you, so very soon I'm coming to the table. But just know that there is that openness where you can go and say hi to somebody, know what they're doing, where they live, who knows. That could be the point of contact you've been looking for to push you forward in whatever ventures that life has given you. And we will have the welcoming remarks from the speakers and the initiators of these wonderful, wonderful ideas. And they will let us know why we're here. Who are we going to listen to? Where our help is going to come from? I am so looking forward to hear many things that I don't know about. And continuing, we will have explanation or detailed information about building your future back home with Stanbic Bank and how they can help us, people in the diaspora, to know the opportunities that we have and how best we can save our money. You know, and one time I had somebody say that if you want your money to be safe, keep it with somebody you can sue, not your mother that you cannot take to court. So they will be telling us the financial institutions and the opportunities that we have as people in the diaspora back home. We will continue to hear the chairman's keynote about the journey of financial growth, moving forward to the panelists as they give us introductions and some business concepts. They will be presenting what they think or what we think can be doable and how to move forward. And still in our first session, I don't know about the time, if we will be, when we're going to have the break, but we will be communicating as we move on. And we will be having deeper dive into challenges and solutions or different visions. Then we would like the audience's feedback. So I beseech you, forgive me, I'm also a preacher, so some of the words are bit difficult, just bear with me. So I beseech you, brethren, As they're speaking, you can pick a piece of paper. There's a pen on each and every table. You can write some remarks. We would like feedback because we believe actually that among us, there are people who are better than us in different fields, and your input is really, really needed. So we're learning from each other. Keep us informed. There will be a time for feedback, for questions and submissions or additions, no subtractions. Again, during the lunchtime, if you have not gotten a chance to network with the people in the morning, we will be talking some more. We will have some nudges. We can add here, subtract here, do this, do that, and it's going to be a wonderful day. Moving on to after lunch, I will not go deep into that, but I would like to let you know that it's going to be also action-packed. There will be conclusions, there will be financial age, and we will have recap transitions to different things. Remember, later today, I heard Little Bird say that there will be some exciting events going on in the night. So for those of you who traveled all the way, you don't have your evening wasted. Before I invite another speaker, I would like the person in the instruments to play something a little bit smaller as we figure out how to welcome our speaker. Okay, we are waiting for the ambassador to come in. Meanwhile, if you need a drink, we have some a water booth over there. Sparkling. Yeah, I've just had it sparkling, so you can take it as a point of refreshment, and we will proceed. Somebody say hi to each other, and enough. We've been saying hi. Yes, yeah, you can feel at home and refresh yourself with some sparkling water. We are waiting for the ambassador. And once they're here, I'll be guiding you in what goes on next. But again, you look so beautiful. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again and with some great news that our dear ambassador is in our midst. Can we give that an applause? And we welcome you, and we're so glad to have you here. We can't wait to drink from the fountain of your wisdom. I would request you to stand up on your feet. We're going to sing the national anthem before we move forward with anything else. I was expecting to have help from the system, but I guess I'm going to just sing it.
Why don't we be, in Denmark we say ekologisk. In Uganda we shall say original. Let's be organic. We do it organic.
Okay, organic, here I come.
Because your voice, your sound, you could bring it well.
Forgive my sound if it does not come out to your expectations, but I'm patriotic, so I'm going to say the words. That's the greatest message of all. Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hands. United free for liberty, together we always stand. Thank you. I cannot sing the other stanza. Still standing. We're going to clap our hands and welcome our ambassador, escorted by the ushers and Mr. Ntende. Okay, you can have a seat. He's going to give us some welcoming remarks before we welcome our dear ambassador. I'm sorry for that miscommunication.
Thank you. This is my personal pastor.
Okay.
She tries. So I'm going on the right path. We have been fasting this month. I chose to do intensive fasting. Which day are we on today? Day 27. So if you hear her energy is a bit low, just push her and then she should drink a lot of water. I welcome you so much, everybody. People online, I hope you see us. I want to start by apologizing that we are quite behind schedule. Even the people who are here, we are quite behind schedule. And I feel like the spirits are a bit low. Especially for people who don't know the community. Our guests from different countries. It seems a bit strange that we are keeping non-African time on this event. But for people who have been on these events, we usually start like this. And that's the night goes. And this happens in church. It happens at events. It will happen at the Bika. It will happen everywhere. We are working on that one. And that's why we are bringing these conferences, because some people are actually giving up, thinking, we can't do this because people don't give time. But our ambassador was telling me, no. We can't keep being the same old way as we have been. So we have to do something. We just have to start. And then, in my experience, people who already stand up, you might be like a small number, but you really gain a lot from stuff like this. And that is the real mission of why we're here. I have people even who stayed at the hotel. I don't know what's happening. I hope they're coming down soon. And the people who are supposed to be on their way are supposed to be coming. People who registered actually, who are saying they should be here. So I think they're explaining that one. But forget about those people. The important thing is the people who are here. We have people who have good ideas, who are going to talk about good ideas, and we are going to share those ideas. And we have Islamic Bank with us here. and some people from Nordic Bank who could actually not make it on time this time, but at least we have one representative here, and it's a big package. It is a package. So people who will be, I think, wondering why they're not making money when money comes knocking, I have a problem understanding that one. But I think we are going to see stuff, and I think that by the time we come back next year here, I don't want to promise, but I want to be held accountable. My pastor holds me accountable. If I don't fast, he says, you're saying you're fasting, you're not losing weight. So that kind of accountability, that's what I want to hear. If we are inviting people next year and we say, we initiated the ideas here and you're not making money, then I want to be held accountable for that. So with those few words, I'm really grateful for our representative from Nordic Bank, Mr. Arthur Chuanuka, please, if you could stand up. He will soon come and then make sure I make money from that gentleman. And then our dear ambassadors, I'm so grateful. I think the ambassador will introduce the whole embassy staff which is here. But Your Excellency, we are so grateful for your guidance in this project to make it here. I was almost giving up, but but I think, thank you for encouraging me. I think it's the right thing to be done. And after my welcoming remarks, I'm going to invite the ambassador, and then she will give us some words of wisdom. And I think after the words of wisdom, I think the MC went through the program. We'll get some words from our major sponsor. And I think I'll ask you many times to clap for our major sponsor, because this would not be possible without the Nordic Bank. We thank you so much. People online, please, you can use the chat in Zoom and also on the live stream on YouTube. And also think on Facebook, so that we'll be monitoring these channels and we'll try to make sure that you connect. The panelists who have not sent in their names to get a link, please also do it as soon as possible. You can send it to me in WhatsApp or YouTube or anything, so that we get you connected for when the panel discussion starts. With those many words, I beg to leave the stage, and I would ask you to help me stand up and welcome Her Excellency the Ambassador to the stage. Ambassador.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm happy we've made it in the morning. I wish to thank Mr. Arthur Chuanuka for enabling us to get together and share ideas about being a Ugandan abroad. I would also like to thank Mr. Ntende, who had to go through a lot of logistics to make this event take place. I am Margaret Mtembea Otoskov, Uganda's ambassador, accredited to the Nordics and the Baltics. And I'm here to take your wisdom, actually. Not me giving my wisdom because I'm a single person, the hall is full, so I am here to share wisdom. I would like also actually at this point to thank a few of my staff members who have come, and no bias here please, but I would like to thank one fellow Ugandan who's a diaspora. I would like you to stand up, Mr. Kariango. Yes, started with Mr. Kassier before even my colleagues, is he's always there when we talk about diaspora. He's very supportive, be it in Norway, Finland, Sweden. He's always there, so I thank you very much, John. So at this point, I would like my colleagues, Ambassador Ajiku, he's the deputy of our office, and then I have Olga Muzungu. She's in charge of business. So if you want any business opportunity, knock on her door. And then my everyday colleague at all given time, from 9 to 5, Justine Namara. She controls what I do and ensures that I do well. So, thank you very much, all participants. Here, I had originally written a speech, but I would like to talk to you as fellow Ugandans from my heart. And I stand corrected in advance where I don't please you or represent you well in my words. But the purpose of being here is to address what diaspora has been missing. You are the biggest representative, the unofficial ambassadors for Africa, in this case for Uganda, but we never seem to put our act together. And with this meeting, the embassy would like to declare that this is the beginning of a conversation with the Ugandans in diaspora, to think together, to act together, to decide together, to disagree, and to finally agree with the view of promoting our country. And there are many ways of promoting our country, but there are certain elements that the government has run short of reaching out to the diaspora. And one cross-cutting issue is immigration issues. This particular meeting, we are no representatives from immigration, but we would like to inform you that this year, towards the end of this year, we'll have a conversation with officials from immigration, Ministry of Internal Affairs, to come and address you regarding the national IDs, regarding dual citizenship, regarding renewing your passports, and getting brand new Ugandan passports. It's a subject that we've never addressed fully. We take an individual case by case, but we want to expand on it because that gives you the feeling that you are actually a real Ugandan, talk and act and think like a Ugandan. So our diaspora, we promise you to get this, and doing that, we'll start with a portable equipment to register you for national IDs. And then from there, we'll take the passport element in terms of renewing your passports or getting you new passports or getting dual citizenship. As you all know, when you have all these, then you are able to invest in Uganda properly, because most of you, I believe, hold Swedish or Danish passports, which gives you restrictions to invest in Uganda. And therefore, you find you do illegal things by going as a Swede. You arrive in Uganda, you become a Ugandan and skip some taxation because you are Swedish. We don't want that. We want to streamline our lives. I'm a diaspora, I live here. We want to streamline our lives so that we are Ugandans
who can walk in and do the proper things, especially investment, which we are going to deal with, and still remain Swedish. Now we go to the investment element. We feel the government has not reached out quite well to the diaspora regarding the opportunities of investing in Uganda. We are very fortunate that Stanbic approached us, and it was particularly actually Mr. Arthur. Could you kindly stand up again, and they all recognize you. He's the gentleman that wrote to the embassy and expressed wish to participate, to network with the diaspora with the view of giving you the advantages of investing in Uganda, advantages of using his bank, now his bank, you are standing today, to totality, using his bank to open places that you never thought of that were possible to invest and earn good money. Good money is back home, guys. You think there is money here? Money is back home. Come and we get our money. Come and we find the possibilities of how to penetrate the system, get good money, and he will tell us the details of that. And this session right now, I will not say a lot because we are many. We want to leave openings that you have questions, you have comments, you have ideas to share. As I said, I am looking forward to hearing your wisdom. And one thing we should not sit and dwell upon is that I've lived abroad for so long, the life here is structured, and I don't want to go to Uganda, Kavio. No, Kavio is here. When you don't progress, that's Kavio in its beauty. So I don't want us to be described as Kavasama, which is a short period. We want us to go home and say, yeah, these are the people who actually know how to use their exposure from abroad, bring it here, streamline the society. I met a gentleman here who wants to look at the garbage problem, and that's taking our knowledge back home, but with a view of relocating back home when you feel financially well provided for. Our system does not give us free schooling at all levels. Our system does not give us free medication. We haven't arrived at that. But in your small way, you can create, the circles, but you can have a spin-off of another circle to say, in my village, I will make a account where mothers put in money for their babies. Having lived abroad, your exposure is simply highly needed in Uganda. So I open the meeting today to share ideas, to hear criticism, constructive criticism, not just this, constructive criticism. And for those that bring criticism, please endeavor to give us a solution how to overcome to the criticism, if you have. If you don't, other participants may come up with ideas that we did not know. So with those many words, I wish to officially open the place in my country.
Thank you very much, Mom. I'm going to make another applause. We are so glad to have this wonderful message and opening.
from our ambassador. And again, respectively, I did not mention the entourage that came with the ambassador. Please welcome. Thank you so much for the service. I forgot that to have this wonderful leader, it comes with a lot of hands. We appreciate you. You are the people that we talk to immediately when we come into the embassy, and we recognize you. We see you. Moving forward to our program, we're gonna have Stanbic Bank. Yeah, come ahead. And again, I just wanted to put an emphasis on criticism. Please let it be respectful. We've had experiences before when officials came to address the diasporans, and we saw what was moving on social media when it was not respectful. We are human, we're running offices, so with whatever that you need to supplement on the messages today, let's remember to be respectful. So let's welcome Mr. Arthur to come and take us forward. You're so much welcome, sir, and thank you for the opportunity.
Is it still morning?
I'll show you in the next 60 seconds how people.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here representing Stanbic Uganda. I've been introduced already as Arthur Chwanuka. What I do for the bank is I head a unit in the bank called Affluent Banking. It's basically take care of customers who want to become affluent. And that's my preoccupation. If you want to be successful, if you want to be wealthy, whatever it is that you want, whatever destination, I'm the person who will help you get there. I have a presentation. I don't know whether it's going to be displayed, but basically, I want to start by telling you a little bit about Stanbic. Stanbic is a part of a Standard Bank Group. Standard Bank Group is basically has a presence in Uganda, and in Uganda we have a holding company. The holding company has 5 companies under it. The bank being one of them, which is the biggest of the companies. But we also have SBG Securities. Now, SBG Securities is basically those who want to invest in unit trusts. If you want to buy stock and so on, I'll talk a little bit more about that. That's one of the companies. We have a business incubator. The way it came about is we have Ugandans who started businesses. Now, oil and gas came to play. And what we realized while serving these customers is to benefit from local content, you needed to be properly organized. And most of the companies were supporting or not organized. So we offered to train those companies or companies that are interested, especially in getting into oil and gas or benefiting from oil and gas. We have then since expanded it to anybody who was an SME who's starting a business to help them be a little bit more organized. That's the idea for the incubator. We've gotten other partners that are actually helping us funding that product. So we're excited about that. We have Stanbic Properties. Now, as a bank, we're not allowed to own properties. So we rent now, but we already had some properties as a bank. So this property company is the one that owns those properties now. They rent to the bank. We also use that same company to advise our customers in terms of acquiring properties in Uganda, and also helping them manage properties or assets there, or whatever properties they might have, rental properties especially, or office properties, whatever it is they have in Uganda. So that's the preoccupation of the company. We have what we call a Fly Hub. A Fly Hub is a fintech that we started. And the idea was to see how can we integrate with other areas that serve Ugandans, whether it's NIRA, whether it's passport office, or whatever agencies that actually support Uganda, but also bank-to-bank integrations and so on. So that's why we started that company as well. Predominantly those ones, all those companies are intended to enhance how you experience the bank when you choose to bank with us. That's the bottom line. So that's how we are. We say Uganda is our home, and we drive our growth, and we mean that. What we mean that is whatever we try to do in Uganda is intended to help us drive the growth of Uganda, including the language we use to communicate, including the tone, including the font, whatever it is that we're trying to do. is intended to support the growth of the country in Uganda. So investments in Uganda, we invest a lot in Uganda. We support a lot of the activities in Uganda. In terms of the company, like I said, the way we set up is what I organize, but also internally as a bank specifically, because that's what I represent. We have 3 business units. We have the personal and private banking. That's where I support. And like I indicated, I'm head of private banking or affluent banking, whichever you want to use. We have business and commercial banking. That's a unit that supports business customers who have around $5 million or less in terms of transaction. But then we have the corporate investment banking that takes care of anything above. In terms of how we are positioned in Uganda, we are number 1 in terms of profits, number 1 in terms of assets under management, number 1 in terms of balance sheet, market share. In terms of customer numbers, we're number 2. In terms of distribution, we're number 1 as well. So we are a top-tier bank in Uganda, basically. And you can look us up. I mean, I don't have to tell you a lot about that. You can Google Stanbic Bank Uganda specifically. But in terms of what our focus is, we are positioned to serve any type of customer you can think of, whether it's a personal need at the lowest level, or a teacher, or whatever, to the biggest corporation in the country. So we have, for instance, on the corporate investment banking side, we have 55% of the market share. So that's a tremendous opportunity for us to serve any corporation in the country. In terms of what we do for the businesses, of course, lending solutions for any business or property you might have. As long as we understand the business, we can provide any financing that you may need. On the personal side, we definitely do financial advisory, lending for property, lending for investments, lending for any kind of need that you may have that you need support on. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the personal side, because that's where I'm seated. On the corporate side, of course, financing for corporations and advisory, especially money transfers and so on. So those are the key items in terms of business units that actually we support. But I'll talk a little bit more about the personal side. For the personal, exactly, for the transacting, we enable transacting, both online and offline. Okay, online, that is if you're in diaspora, especially, predominantly you're going to do online investing. So we have an app, we also have an online presence. So whatever kind of transactions you may need, we can enable them through our online or digital channels. We also do remittances. Now, specifically for this country, we are under the 4 countries actually that are under the Nordics. We have a partner called Juba Express. I don't know whether any of you know about Juba Express. Juba Express, and they have an app. You can download the app. The beauty of the partnership with Juba Express is whatever amount you're sending is what they receive on the other side. So there are no charges on the other side. So if they charge you $2 a year, that's the maximum you're going to what? You're going to pay. On the other side, if you're sending them $6,000 or whatever the equivalent, that's what they'll receive. And that's it for us, the beauty of it. Very competitive rates. So I'm excited about that product specifically, and I'm honored to be here. Part of the reason I'm here is to talk about that a little bit, and we'll share a little bit more about it. But that's a big one if you ask me. But also, if you open up an account, of course, you can remit through that app, you can remit directly into a FlexPay wallet that we have at the bank. So basically, the recipient will have to get an app and open it. You don't have to have an account. You can have that wallet as anybody who chooses to open up that wallet. And then you can remit directly to that person's number as an example. So, and if they can move the money to the bank or whatever channel they choose to spend the money. In terms of specifically, if you chose to open up an account, which is what is encouraged in terms of sustainability, you can do transactions of up to 200 million shillings or through digital channels. So that's an opportunity for us and for you as well. And of course, we have, as a person who is away from Uganda, We'll provide a contact person so you can interact with that person for whatever needs that you may have. That's supported basically. For investments, we support on investments of all kinds. If you want to buy a property as an example, we can support you. You would only fund you if you're buying a property. That is, if you want to borrow money and you live in this country, we can lend you money, but only if you're buying a property or if you have a property where you're taking equity out. Why is that? Because we need to know that actually you are invested, fully invested in whatever it is you're trying to do in Uganda. We can help you in terms of other investments. So previously, the only investment people talked about is let me buy a property, rent it out, and get the rentals. Now we all know what the challenges are with that. Okay, I'll give an example. Recently, there's a friend of mine who lives in the US. He built a property in Mukono, somewhere in Mukono. Before he left to go back to Uganda after building whatever, he had tenants. All the property filled up, and so he assigns his brother to collect the rent, and he advised him on an account where to put the money. And there was no money in the account. A couple of 6 months later, no money. 7 months, no money. 8 months. So he calls me and says, "You know what? My brother says he's putting money in the account that I opened up at Stanbic, but there's no money. How come? What's going on, you guys?" So I say, "Fine. If there's any money coming to the account, it'll be visible. Let's talk to the person." So the guy calls me and says, "You know what? Yeah, I've been having problems here and there about depositing money." But I said, "Have you deposited? Can you share pay slips or rather deposit slip or whatever?" He didn't have that. So he has been depositing the money in his pocket and giving the impression to the brother that he was putting money in the account. Now the ugliness of that is you cannot recover it. The lady talked about suing somebody. You can't sue your brother. You can't do nothing. You basically lose money. What we have done is we have a property company that can help you with that in terms of collecting rent and making sure it's there. And if it doesn't happen, of course, you sue the bank. But also we have alternative investments. So you don't have to invest in the property alone. You can actually invest in unit trusts as an example. You can invest in government treasuries. You can invest in bonds as well. And we can tell you a little bit more about that. But the idea is those investments will be there wherever you are, whenever you come back, or whenever you need to access them. We have online access to those investments as well. So that for me is an ideal option for those who are interested in investing in Uganda. If you decide to buy property as an example, we'll help you through that process. We work with lawyers, and everything is done without having to even show up. Pretty much, documents courier to you, you sign them off, and then bring them back, and so on. So you have two things, and I always advise: if you're buying a property in Uganda, even if you have the cash, even if you choose to fund 20%, do that. Why? Because the bank is interested in that asset. They'll do the due diligence for you. They'll make sure the property that you're buying is available and there, and actually it's investment grade. And they'll make sure then that it's protected. So there's a caveat on that property by the bank. So for you, if anything happens, just go to the bank and say, "Guess what? I borrowed money from you. I bought this property. You say you did the due diligence. If it doesn't fit your expectations, you have recourse. You go after the bank. Simple as that." So whether you choose to do it with Stanbic or choose to do it in another bank, that's okay. My advice to you is consider doing it through a bank. And even if you borrow 10%, that's enough for you to be successful in that they'll do the work for you. You don't have to do the work at all. So for me, that. I talked about borrowing, unbeknown to so many people, in terms of individual obligors, we can do up to $20 million as an individual if you have the affordability. So it's up to you. Provide the affordability, we'll lend the money to you, and we'll support you in whatever investments you want to use with the money. We do residential property, we do land, we do commercial property, and maybe the interesting one, if you do bonds and you want to borrow, you can borrow against your bonds as well. So that's a big deal for us. So You are lending the money with a bond. Basically, it's an IOU. For those who may not know, you are lending money to the government of Uganda, and they're paying you an interest, very handsome interest, if you ask me, up to 17%, 16%. I think there's a 20% as well. No, 18% as well recently, 20 year. That money is paid every 6 months into the account that you nominate in Uganda, so nobody touches it. Okay, it's taxed, but it shows up in your account every 6 months. Now, for instance, if you have a bond of 200 million shillings and you have an emergency where you need to borrow, you can borrow against it without liquidating your asset. Now you use the coupons to pay back. So how exciting that is that? So you're using the coupons that you're receiving to pay back the loan. You retain your investment, and you also take care of your other immediate needs or whatever it is that your other investment goals you may have. So that's a beautiful one. The other one that we do is the insurance piece, protection. And with protection, I also talk about wealth preservation. How do you ensure that whatever it is that you work so hard for is passed on to the people that are important to you? We support you in that journey as well. And also ensure that you're not stuck. I mean, if it's property insurance, you have a property, we support that as a bank. We're an agent for insurance. If it's life insurance, and if you want to invest, we have some exciting insurance products that we use specifically that can help you invest while you get a death benefit in case that's important to you. So that money is not taxed, and if you say you're investing for a goal, whatever your goal or timeline comes through, that money will be available to you. And if something happens to you, pass away prematurely, whatever dreams that you had for that money will still be achieved because the full sum is paid to your beneficiaries. So for me, that's a big one as well. I talked about estate planning. That's basically how do you bypass a probate as an example to ensure that actually you don't have to deal with the scrutiny that comes with probate. So for me, that's an area that we can help you with. I'll talk a little bit about investments. I've talked about the bonds. I'll talk a little bit about unit trust. Unit trust is a new one in Uganda. In some markets, they call them mutual funds, but we call them unit trust in Uganda. Why is it important? So you don't have to have 200 million shillings to buy a bond, or 100 million shillings to buy a bond. You can start with 100,000 or the equivalent of 100,000, and you can put the money there on a monthly basis in that investment. You can put as little as 50,000 shillings on a monthly basis in that investment. It pays very handsomely. We have the bond fund as an example, and if you go the last 4 months, it's been averaging around 14%, but it's liquid. If you wanted to redeem your money, you just send an instruction and the money will be redeemed. Within 24 hours, you have money in your account. So if you have an account in Uganda and you have some money in that account, there might be value in you considering the unit trust as an option because of the liquidity of that asset, if you ask me. Well, if you say, for instance, what you want to cure in Uganda, you need the money in 2 days, you just instruct money from your more money from your unit trust upon your account. So because of flexibility, I always encourage, especially people who live here or live away from Uganda, that's a good investment for you. The rates that are paying are actually as good as what you, even if you factor in the exchange rates, they're as good as investing here, actually, slightly better than investing here. We have offshore investors who come in specifically to do bonds and also do unit trusts. Now, those who have bonds, what they do is when the coupon is paid, they move the money to a unit trust, and it accumulates a little bit more, they buy another bond if they need to. But at least you continue earning new money. So both our options are available for you if you choose to. Through SPGs, you can also buy stock. You can buy individual stock. 2 examples that I'll give: MTN. MTN is recently listed. We supported that listing. For those who don't know, MTN is a phone company in Uganda. Very, very popular in Uganda. You can't even buy shares. Now, you can't find the shares. They're oversubscribed. When they open up a lot, somebody's buying those shares. But it pays a very good dividend every 6 months. I think it's every 6 months or 3 months. I don't remember, but they pay a dividend, which is very, very good. We can do asset management. If you have assets that you want to manage in Uganda, we can help you with that as well through SBG Securities. And of course, if you want to get capital and you want support in terms of mobilizing capital in Uganda, we can help you through our SBG Securities company. I'd like to stop here. I'll take questions if there are any. I'm excited to be here, talk a little bit more about what we do as a bank in Uganda. If you don't remember anything I said, at least I know everybody send some money into Uganda. Consider downloading the Juba Express app and use it to try and transform it. And tell me what your experience is. I'm sure you'll be happy. Thank you very much, and hand back to MC.
Before you go, I just have a question. As you were explaining, you didn't tell us if there is a percentage on the principal that comes with unit trust or maybe bonds. Would there be anybody who's interested in knowing that?
Yes. When you say interest rate, are you meaning the return?
Yeah, the return is on the benefit.
Like I said, and they're all over the place, okay? So for the unit trust specifically, I refer to the bond fund. And I say the last 3 months, average has been around 14% as a return, okay? Last month, I think it was 15.6, if I remember correctly, just for the bond fund. There are three funds. There's a bond fund, there's a money market fund, and then there's a balance fund. But I refer to the bond fund, it's more popular. It has most of the assets under management. So if you do a bond, an individual bond, bonds are either 2-year, 5-year, 15-year, and 20 years. I mean, there are several options. So what we do is if you choose to do a bond, we'll actually give you the cash flows. Then you determine, I want to do 5 years. We'll show you what you'll be paying. You'll be receiving every 6 months for the duration of the bond. It shows you the yield and so on and so forth. There might be a cost getting into the bond, depending, or there might be a premium getting into the bond. You know what I mean? So there are options. But in terms of returns, that's the average returns. They'll be fluctuating depending on the timing and so on. Right now, the government is looking for money. I think the last issue, if I remember correctly, I think the 20-year was at 17.8 or 7.9 or something like that. So very attractive rate for the bond specifically. Yeah.
You have a question?
Yes, please.
If you can shout.
Okay. Thank you. My question was, do I need to be a member and coming back to get the bonds, or do I have to have an account to be accessible to the union investment or even trust?
So you need a place for instance, for the bonds. They, like I said, they pay you every 6 months. So you need a bank where that will be liquidated and where you buy from. So we facilitate. The bonds are Bank of Uganda instruments, the Central Bank Uganda instruments. We are facilitators of ensuring that that's purchased and but we manage. So we create an account for you where you buy from and where the coupons are related to. So yes, you do have a bond. You have to have an account. Unit trust is the same thing. You have to have an account where you keep picking the money from, and then putting the money back in case of redemptions. Yes.
I have a question. I don't need I can talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I am from Gini, and somebody invited me. I know many Ugandans. But my question is, as a non-Ugandan, is it possible for me to buy bonds and shares for obligations in Uganda? And how the process is done?
So if you're doing a bond, we can do offshore. I'll have to confirm how to help you through that. But if you're Ugandan, you definitely, it's basically just have to register and then can help you with that. But I'll confirm the offshore. We have an option for offshore investors. I just don't have the process of it. I'll before I leave, I'll get you. Yeah, but we do have offshore investors because of the attractive rates that we have and the stability of the currency in Uganda. So, and also the fact that you can move money in and out of Uganda very easily. We have a liberal regime of allowing foreign currency in Uganda, which is unique to Uganda. There are very few countries that have the kind of liberal environment. So for that reason, there's value in you considering it. Is there any other question first? Then I'll come to you.
When you say Ugandan, as in you need to be a citizen of Uganda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you can be a dual citizen, but you are.
Yeah, you need to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
Two questions. What the setup costs when it comes to buying securities and bonds? Is it free?
Yes, it is. You don't have to pay a fee to open up, to set up an account. No.
Yeah. And then the second question, what are the modalities, the requirements for us in the diaspora when it comes to acquiring loans to do, for instance, real estate?
As long as we open up an account for you have a national ID, for starters, then the other thing then is affordability. You have to provide or prove affordability. Affordability basically, either if you're going to fund your investment using salary, then you have to look at salary, remittances, and so on. We establish, we confirm they're legit and so on. It helps a lot where there is rental property involved, because then we can look at the rentals in Uganda to supplement whatever it is that you're going to look at, okay, to invest in. So those are the options you have. But pretty much what we focus on, and that's true for whether you live in Uganda or you live abroad, affordability is a key. If you can afford, why it's important for you here is we can only lend against a property or an asset of some sort. We can't lend unsecured if you don't live in Uganda. You switch off your phone, we won't know where to find you. But if you live there, we can find you so easily. However big Uganda is, we'll find you. But here, we don't know where to go. But if you have an asset, we have something to hold on to. It's basically what we call skin in the game. You have some skin in the game. You have invested.
And your minimum down payment offer is?
For property,
properties,
20%. 20% is your skin.
And what's the interest?
Interest is around, it's around 16. Right now, I mean, fluctuate over, of course, with the changes in the variable rates, but it's 16%, 16.5 right now.
Annual.
UGX. Yeah.
Annual.
Yeah.
Just one point. People online would like to hear the questions. That's very fair. So we have to try to take our time.
Well, give us another mic.
Okay, I'll run around with the mic.
Yes,
that's okay.
You have one question over there?
Okay. Well,
thank you. You mentioned about property. Do you support agriculture also, agriculture loans? Okay, this percentage is the same, 16%. 20%. Okay, thank you.
I can take more questions then I can answer two.
I can address one question. We're working with climate compensation funding and for agriculture, water treatment, solar parks, etc. Can you be co-financer for this project? Will be financed, but for pre-studies and starting up a solar park, or you do some biogas plant for in the agriculture business. Can you finance that also, or support it?
Take more. I can take those two for starters.
Okay, so specifically for our Greek, we have the government of Uganda as a fund. They'll lend it to you. The pricing for that is discounted. I think the last I checked is around 12 or 13% compared to the 16% you have to borrow for other things. So it's I think 12 or 12%. I mean, I can get the answer if you are serious about it. I can walk you through the process, but it's slightly cheaper than or subsidized by the central bank, by the government of Uganda through the central bank. So it's a fund specifically for agriculture. Yeah. You talked about energy. Energy is a big area of interest for the bank at a group level. So I don't have the details of what you're asking, but we can take it on side and I'll get you some information that you, all right, this is the response that you need. What I know is one of the areas that we are really, really interested in for Africa specifically as a standard bank is energy, because it's an opportunity for the African continent. There's not enough funding for that on the continent. So we put up our hand to support that. We have a specific desk in Uganda that focuses on energy. So definitely we have answers. I just don't have them offhand. I'll help you there. Any other questions, comments? Go ahead.
Just one more.
When you were breaking down properties, does it also involve mortgages for homes? For example, dual citizens who have homes here and we spend a half a year, maybe 3 months in Uganda. Is there an opportunity to have a mortgage with Stanbic Bank, given that we fit the criteria? And how long is the mortgage period for, with the percentage, please, of interest?
And a second question?
So just to say it again, we do have mortgage opportunities for you guys. So in terms of borrowing, you can borrow for a house, residential, or rent, or whatever issues you want to use to use it for. We can do for commercial property if you want to buy property that you rent for offices or other activity. We can lend you for land if you want to buy land as well, specifically. And if you choose to buy a bond, we can also give you money for that. But basically, you can, those are the assets that you can lend against. In terms of duration, we can do up to 35 years. Now, remember, we're looking at, but it depends on retirement age as an example. If your source of income is, as an example, salary, we look at your retirement age. Let's assume your retirement age is 65, okay, and you're 25. You can lend you up to the 25 years.
Thank you.
I thought you were 19. Yeah, so that's the idea. So whatever it is to retirement age is what we give you up to 45 years. Basically, that's what we look at, the source of income. So, but if it's commercial property or commercial lending, it's 8 years. So the term is slightly shorter. Our experience is most people pay off those mortgages within 7 to 8 years, regardless of how many years they qualify for. The beauty of qualifying for longer is gives you flexibility in terms of how much you pay out, okay? But you can pay down with no penalty for paying sooner. So that's one. The second one was the interest rates I already mentioned. Right now, it's 16.5% for if you're borrowing in Ugandan currency. If you're borrowing in dollars, it is around 11%. Yeah.
Why the difference?
The currency, the cost of currency is different. So in Uganda, we don't have long-term funding. We have to borrow the money to lend on lend. Now, for the dollar, because of the strength of the dollar, I know the currency, of course, even the demand is not that high anyway. There are not that many. If you live in Uganda, you can't borrow against, you can't borrow in dollars unless your salary is in dollars. There's not enough, you know. But if you live away from Uganda, maybe there's an opportunity because you can prove that. But so it's slightly cheaper for those. If you look at, we much fund against what we call SOFR. I don't know whether you know SOFR. This could be LIBOR, but it's called SOFR now. If you much fund against that, the rates are much lower for dollar. For Uganda, we don't have, we much fund against the Treasury bill and bond, which is around 11, 12, 13%, depending on the timing. That's why the finance is at 16, 70%. But like I said, there's always a premium on top of that because we are borrowing from somebody else to lend. We don't have long-term funding as much. We have one agency, NSSF. Now, NSSF, if they choose to borrow to a local entity, they have to put in a premium as well because they have other investment opportunities for them as well. So it's not like they're going to give it to you at a much lower price, so you have enough to, yeah. But anyway, that's what it is. Yes, sir.
There was a discussion into.
One second,
Oh,
Chief.
sorry.
I want to hear your question.
There was a discussion to introduce a law instrument to prevent penalties for early completion of loans. And I heard you say that if you pay everything before the expiry time, you would pay penalties. Can you clarify, please?
And another question also which came in my mind, you don't give loans to people equal to their pension or their retirement? As I heard you right.
I don't remember what I said about penalties. I said you can pay down your loan without being penalized for doing that. So anytime you want to pay down, you are. But I also don't remember the law that you're referring to because it's not universal. What I know they changed is penalizing you from moving from one bank to another. What used to happen in the past is if I borrowed money from another bank or a financial institution and I wanted to move to another institution, the institution I'm moving from used to penalize you. They used to charge you an early settlement fee. That was, by the way, we initiated the move to remove that because we realized whenever we try to buy, because we have the capital, it was a struggle. And yet we had customers who were coming to us. So we went to the central bank. So both sides are benefiting. The other banks that are buy from us, but we also wanted to be able to buy without penalizing the customer. So yes, there's no penalty for buying another place, but even paying down, there's no penalty. You can pay down as fast as you want. We won't penalize you for that. Yeah. In terms of pension, the law precludes people to lend against pension. If it's an income and you're saying I have an income and so on, pension, I know the law precludes us from lending against that because it's intended as your retirement income. And they're worried that actually it might be abused in the process. Oh, they abuse their pensioners in the process. Not their people. Yeah. So as a pensioner, you can choose how you use your money. I get the part. But I think what the government is saying is you might end up being a burden of the state. If you have yeah? No, what I'm saying is if you can't take care of yourself, the state has to take care of you, isn't it? Yeah, sure. And all they're saying is if you have your money, please use it wisely. Don't start borrowing money because you pretty much old and you don't have another source of income. So the only one these taking guys. I mean, there might be ways around it, and we're looking at that as well. So if you're actively working and you have a pension or saved away and all that stuff, or an amount saved away, maybe we can have some discussions. But generally, it's frowned upon, and the law precludes us from lending against that. Because if you borrowed and we gave it to you, and then you say I can't pay, and you sued, they say, you know what, you misled the person. Yeah, so we try to avoid that.
I have a piece of land, about half an acre, and I got plans drawn to build flats there. But somewhere I got stuck. I could not continue to do the building, to get them completed. So I was wondering, is there a way I can work together with Stanbic Bank? We have those flats completed, and then we get a property manager to be collecting the rent and so forth until the bank money is recovered. Is such an arrangement possible?
Thank you. If people in diaspora would like to save, say on a monthly basis, do you have a component where they can transfer their money from, let's say, Sweden on a monthly basis, deducted from their earning? Do you have a component that's available for
diaspora, and what would be the charges and requirements?
Can you take one more? Yeah.
Thank you so much. I have two questions. One, I understand most institutions in Uganda are establishing a section for diaspora. Do you have a diaspora section for your bank? Like specifically, they have somewhere to contact? And the second one is, do you have a specific program for women? Like, do you have specific loans for women? Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. In terms of you have a half an acre, you want to get a partnership with the bank. We don't have arrangements like that. What we have is a construction facility, and we can discuss that a little bit more. But we have a construction facility. Basically, what we do is we agree on certificates and process, and then we say if I build the foundation, this is how much I need for the foundation. They pay the money, they draw down the money, identify a property person to do the property, or we can, through Stanbic Properties, we can help you with that. You build up to a certain point, they establish actually that the money has been invested properly, they do another one, and so on until completion. In terms of management of the property, that's also, you're not married to Stanbic for that, because you already have your skin in the game, okay? You have land which you're pledged. So you can still get your own construction company, you can still get your own. But I think because if it's a construction facility, they'll have some input on which kind of company to work with. And the reason is because they want a product that will come out and be sustainable to then collect the income that you're referring to, that will then pay back the loan. So that's the level of interest they'll have. You're not tied to working through Stanbic for the construction. And even if when it comes to the property is done and collecting the rent and all, you still are tied to Stanbic. We can provide guidance and also support you, but you're tied to it. So basically, it's flexible. As long as the land we're using, it collects enough value to be able to then provide you enough money to build. That's the idea. Yeah. The second one was savings on a monthly basis. Yes, it is possible to do savings on a monthly basis. In terms of remittances, though, the cost will be borne by the saver if you are moving money from this country to Uganda. Now, that cost will be informed by the institution that you're moving the money from. Otherwise, on our end, we'll support whatever it is that you choose to do, whether on a monthly basis, annual basis, weekly basis, whatever it is, we'll set it up for you and receive the money and invest it the way you choose us to invest. You choose, you want to invest it. So that's available.
And does it have a flat rate, exchange rate, or it will come every month we follow the current rate?
Thank you. Yes, every month is or whatever the exchange rate is informed by the rate at the time. Right now, as an example, the Ugandan currency is stronger than the dollar, and they peg against the dollar. Definitely, then you'll get, say, 3.5, 3.7, whatever it is. And if it goes up, of course, whatever it is at the time is what you get. But that's disclosed as well. Actually, most of the time, it's disclosed before you even you remit the money. So yeah, but it will fluctuate based on the rates at the time. Yeah. In terms of a diaspora, that's part of the reason I'm here actually. So we do have a diaspora office, and we have a diaspora account. The reason why we set it up, and I did work on that, is to ensure that it is free-friendly. Everybody who lives away from Uganda opens up an account in the country where they reside, and they have to deal with the costs of managing that account in that country. So what we said, if you're going to maintain another country, why should you then trouble you with costs of managing that account in that country? In Uganda, that is. So it's a free account in Uganda. The dormancy rates are slightly longer, so normally people take long to utilize some of those accounts. And of course, normally 3 months down the road, they're saying if you haven't utilized the account, it's going to be, they're going to close the account and so on and so forth. In this case, it's longer. You can do up to 12 months and then we still have the account available. So we created some things to make it a little bit more flexible and friendlier for those who live away from Uganda. So we are excited about that product, and I will support you whichever direction you choose. In terms of women's proposition, we do have a women's proposition. And we actually, for the lending specifically, we discounted by, I think, 100 basis points off the prime rate. So if prime rate is 19%, we'll discount it. But right now, prime rate is 19.5, and we'll discount by 200 basis points, which means we're lending at 17.5 for women. Yeah, just for women. Nothing personal, it's just for women.
Oh, sorry.
Most of us, we use world remit to send money home. Do you by any chance have a better option and Stambik that we could use to remit our money home?
Mr. Chiwanuka, I think that is personal. We are all equal. This 50% market share that you have is quite interesting, and I was sharing with a corporate friend, and I have a question on his behalf. Yeah, of course, with 50%, your liquidities must be plenty, but the question is, would you be interested in borrowing, you as a commercial bank, borrowing, say he has $100 million and he wants to lend to you, and the only requirement is bank guarantee. Is that something you would be interested in? Thank you.
Anyone with another question?
To the first question, in terms of our remittances into Uganda, I already mentioned specifically for this market, we have Juba Express as our partner. And you just download the app, register, and then you can send the money directly into an app or wallet in Uganda or into an account as well. So we have those options. And very exciting stuff. What I was telling everybody earlier is you actually get exactly what you send. So if they charge you $2 on the side, they're not charging on the other side. So if your intent is to give them 6,000 shillings, that's what they will receive directly. So there's no penalty to them. They just have to have a wallet in Uganda. And to have a wallet, you don't have to open up an account. You just have to register for the wallet, and then you're good to go. Yeah. So,
No. Just answer, and then the rest will sum up the questions later.
okay, so in terms of the wallet, it's called a FlexiPay. FlexiPay, if you look it up on the app, it's an app on there as well. So what it does is a payment solution for the bank. Okay, you can buy electricity, you can pay school fees, you can do all kinds of things using the app or the wallet, I should say. So you can pull money from your account to the wallet, and you can move money from that wallet into your account if you have an account in Uganda. For those who just have a wallet, you can still pay out of that wallet for making any kinds of payments that you want, including paying people, but also redeeming money from an agent. We have agents, if you want cash, that's an option for you as well. The difference between this FlexiPay wallet and mobile money, because somebody will tell you have mobile money. The wallet is way cheaper than any mobile money wallet that you can think of. So if you choose to use that, for me, you'll save a lot of money. You don't pay, for instance, if you're paying electricity from the wallet. In other apps, they'll charge you a certain fee to pay. There are all kinds of advantages. Try to look it up. It's FlexiPay app in Uganda, so it's something that actually I'll highly recommend. for those who live here, even for those who live in Uganda, that you're going to be sending money to. One more question for him. Is that okay?
Yeah. Last question.
Yeah.
What happens if I have bonds and I open the wallet? I sell my bonds, the money is in this wallet. How it will be transferred? How can I transfer that money, for example, to Sweden or Chile or somewhere else to invest it?
You mean transfer into the wallet, transfer out of the wallet if you want to move the money out of the wallet?
If I have the Ugandan bond,
yeah,
I sell it to the government.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I open a wallet where they put all the money.
Yeah.
So that wallet money, and I'm interested, for example, to invest in Rwanda or to invest in Guinea or to bring back the money in Sweden. How the process will be?
We have transfer structures as well within the wallet itself.
No, not transfer. Wallet transfer is not the same.
I don't know what, maybe I'm not understanding your question. I have to come and understand it with you, but there are structures in place to help you liquidate the wallet to whichever direction you want to go. That's all I can say, but maybe I'll come to you to understand exactly what you're referring to.
I understand. Yeah.
Yes, please. I guess I've been fired, but thank you for listening. I really appreciate the time, and I'm available for those who have questions. I put my business card on the tables. You can always reach out by email or on the phone. The phone has WhatsApp as well. Thank you again for the opportunity.
I give it up to Mr. Chiwanika Ata. Thank you so much for enlightening us. And for all of you who still have questions, please write them down. We're going to have a time when we will have a feedback and interaction. And for the people that are online, thank you so much for the engagement. We see you, and we're going to put into account everything that you would like to know. So do not stop jotting down, write down. We will get back to you as soon as we can. And now moving on, I want your attention. Yes. So before we move on, we will be having a break in the coming 20 minutes. But we would like to hear some remarks from the chairman, and he will be telling us more about this initiative. And I'm sure we would like to hear more about this so that we can have more of this. Who thinks it was a blessing to hear from Mr. Abachawanka? Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Stanbic Bank. Let's welcome Mr. Ntende Peter as he comes to address us. Obugalo.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to try the second mic. We'll see how it works out, such that when we have good questions, we will continue. So, as you've seen, we have a lot that we can squeeze in the time we have, because we have people who are going to be on the panel. And I think at this moment, I've had many people who are asking, who is that one? Who is that one? So before we go further, we are going to make a very quick round. You just introduce yourself. Apart from the people who have been introduced already, I think you just introduce yourself. And also I think we'll get a notebook whereby you introduce yourself, because as you've made many questions, other staff at Stanbic Bank, I think I don't know if Mr. Arthur mentioned it, but they are more interested in the questions we are saying, so they want to follow up with some of these questions. So once they bring out a notebook, please write down your name and the phone number, so that we'll be sharing that one. Then after that, we are going to get the mic to go around and we ask about that. Then, you'll excuse me if I speak very fast because time is squeezed. We're supposed to have lunch at 12, we pushed it at 1:30. So that gives us about 30 minutes. So I think my talk, I'll pause it maybe after lunch, but after we make the introductions, I would like the people who are waiting online and our panelists to just give also an introduction of what you're going to hear, because I think it will make it more worthy to eat faster so that we come back quicker. And then and then we'll start from there. I think we'll keep the lunch within 1 hour. I think from 1:30 to 2:30, then we'll pick up from there. And then, but maybe briefly, I wanted to talk about one thing. I don't know if you can share my slide a bit, which is there. And this issue is about numbers, because I think, yeah, I don't know if it will be able to be shared somehow. Okay, it's not sharing what I want to share.
A minute.
Screen? Yes.
I think you need to activate.
Yeah, so I need to activate, I think, my screen again so that it's be shared. So I'll do that after lunch. But what I wanted to share was something about numbers, because we have few people here, as you notice, but that's where like the challenge is. And I will just give comments as we go along, which might not come into the talk. I noticed that some people are not taking notes. Half the people here were taking notes, and half the people were not taking notes. So one hack.
Attention, please.
Yeah. One hack in making money and growing your money and growing your finance is always taking notes. Because what it does, it works with your brain. Once you are writing, your brain is registering more when you're writing. When you listen and listen, the brain can't process everything at the same time and store it. But as you're writing, if you notice, most people who make money, they do a lot of note taking. Not that you're going to read it, don't write a paragraph, just keep noting down. That's one hack. It makes you money. At least 1% will be doubled if you start doing that. So I don't know how many pages you took when Mr. Arthur was speaking. When the ambassador was speaking, I took 2. When Mr. Arthur was speaking, I ran out of pages, so I need a new book. So please, that's one hack which I didn't want to share, which I wanted to share. And also about the numbers. I wanted to share numbers. I wanted to show you the income generation percentages in the Nordic countries. How many people are making 200,000 per year a year? That's the lower level. That's almost 20%. And then like 15% make around 400,000 a year, like your income. That's before tax. Then like about, again, 20% make between 400 and 600,000. Now, the interesting part is when you start making 600 to like 800,000, that's almost only 10%. And then when you go over 800 to 1 million and above, it gets even less. But the top people who make most money are almost like the top 3%. That's across Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Now, why am I talking about that? It's like the numbers who are here. I'll also show you a slide with the number of Ugandan diaspora within the Nordic countries, the estimated rates we have. So if you take the percentage of those people and the people who are here, I think you will start making the connection. So if you want to grow money, try to go where there are less people. That's the mindset. So being here, I think you have already seen the opportunities. Yes. Another hack. When like Mr. Arthur is talking about stocks, he's talking about investment, he's talking about groups, he's talking about whatever startups. The next hack is you have to be everywhere. You have to be everywhere. When they say stocks, put your money in stocks. When they say pension, put your money in pension. We are going to see a number of projects here. I almost join a new project each month. That's another hack. So when people tell you they're making money, there are so many small hacks. You don't need like to invest, like 100 million at once. But you need to invest, even if it's 500 krona. If somebody comes here and tells you about the NGO project, and they say, I just need 500 krona in this one, you put your money there. Just make sure every month, some people do it actually extreme, like every week. There are stories here which I know so many, and I think some people will share them because they have shared it with me, and we are making money with some of those people. Those are the hacks which I didn't want to waste. So I don't know if Mr. Joel, you could go around with the mic, and maybe Mr. Technician, could we get some people who are on the stream, some panelists, if they're online?
I think there is Dr.
Agri.
Agri, yeah.
Yeah. So Mr. Agri, if you are ready to just give us just a brief introduction about yourself, that would be good. The other panelists, if you are listening, if you're on YouTube and you have not joined backstage on the link I shared, please come backstage because soon you'll be coming online.
He should put on his camera.
Yeah, you can put on your camera and then we'll give you the audience. Tentatively, the mic will be moving around. Mr. Agri, if you are late, if you are ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Do you hear me?
Let's see if the sound, maybe people online can hear the sound.
I'm ready.
We are bad on time. Please start with the mic. I think we can start with yes. Yes, we can start with you. Exactly. People have been introduced, maybe they should not. Yeah.
My name is Joel Moses Kasiye Birikade. I'm Uganda by profession. And I reside in the land of milk of Copenhagen, Denmark. And in Uganda, I'm a national.
Justine Namara. I come from Uganda. I live in the diaspora, Copenhagen. I work for Uganda Embassy.
Hi everyone, I'm Ramba. My name is Nanta Gloria Matovo. I live in Denmark. My name is Maureen Melody Najita. I live in Denmark.
Thank you very much, John Remy Mwesigwa Senyange, but I'm well known as Smogi. It's a stage name, but you're welcome.
I know the ambassador. The ambassador was introduced. Yeah. Everybody was introduced in the interest of time.
Hi, Nils Savinkveld is my name. I'm a Swedish guy who represent the network Nexus Africa, and we set up business now in Uganda in waste management and education, and also in creating business hubs.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Charles Signoin. I've lived in Sweden since 1989, which is about 34 years now. I'm interested in serving the community and helping my fellow Ugandans in Sweden. I'm a very approachable person, so I encourage everyone to approach me whenever they have anything of interest, especially to do with back home or even around Stockholm here, or Sweden or Scandinavia in general. Thank you so much.
My name is Catherine Shango Namtebe. I'm from Uganda, Kampala. I live in Lund, and I'm a social entrepreneur. I run an NGO and a shop called Africa, and I'm working with an app for women's health called Comfort Mom.
Yeah, I am Mohamed Tunkara from Guinea, Conakry, and I live in Sweden for many years. And I invest in West Africa. I'm interested now to East Africa. I know more the West, Ivory Coast, Gambia, Senegal, etc. But I have some friends from the East, Rwanda and Uganda and Angola. So soon I'll be coming to visit those three countries.
So you are an angel investor.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. My name is Juliet Kevin, a promoter in Scandinavia, a big one. I can't wait to see you in the evening for after party. For after party. I really want to thank Mr. Peter Ntende to give me that offer. And Stanbic Bank, they are my sponsor. Thank you very much. I'm called Julie Kevin.
Hello, my name is Melissa Masembe Selgo. I am a nurse by profession, but I also import Ugandan women to Sweden, this girl. And I have a lot of investments, property in Uganda with my husband. So this is a great opportunity for me to come in here.
Would you be willing to join the panel later on? Oh, thank you. I try.
Hello, Hasna Risas. I'm here to learn and invest in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Emma Kasiga. I live in Stockholm. I'm an accountant by profession, but I do a lot of other things. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Edwin Tumkunde. I live in Sweden. I work in the telecom business, and I'm here to learn.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edgar Napoleon Nasima. I'm also Ugandan, straight from the Antonde. I work for a Swedish civil defense agency.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Prevasi Frida. I also come from Uganda, Marara. I live in Uppsala. I live and work in Uppsala, Sweden. Some time back, I was in exporting business, art and crafts, but I paused a bit. Today I got the interest of maybe getting back to it. And I think I'm changing back to Stanbic. So yeah, I've been in ABSA for a long time, in Barclays. So I've liked all that has been said about Stanbic. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Bridget Akanga. I live in Sweden. I am an entrepreneur in Uganda, a businesswoman in Uganda. One of the businesses I do is export coffee in different countries in the world, and I'm happy to be here.
What is the name of the coffee company?
The coffee company is called, it's the Coffee Export Company. I have my coffee there. It's displayed there. It's a Arabico Export Trading Company.
Hello. My name is Jibwa Peace, and I live here in Sweden. Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here to learn more about building a future with Stanbic Bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. I think online, Mr. Technician, is it working now?
Let him say something.
Yeah, Mr. Agui, try something.
Yes, protocol observed.
Perfect.
My name is Agri Tugumisirize. I'm an agriculturalist by professional, born in Uganda from Rukunjiri district, and I'm working in Denmark as a farmer. And I lead a very big group of agriculture students and farmers that are already on working contracts, and also people who are working in a slaughterhouse or butcher in Denmark. Thank you.
Yeah, we have some panelists who are on Zoom. I sent you a link which is called StreamYard. Please, if you join there, we will, I think, be able to get you. We can't bring you back to Zoom. Please, I share the link with you on your WhatsApp messages. Mr. Ligo Francis, Miss Flavia. So if you join, please let us take it later. How are we doing this time? 10 minutes. Yeah. So I think within the 10 minutes before the other people join up, I will try maybe to share some of the stuff so that we can pick it up from there. Alternatively, we could hear a little bit from one more time.
I would say probably he could say something as you.
Okay, as I set my screen. In that case, I'll ask. I think Mr. News, are you ready to give a brief introduction about what you do?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, because every panelist will give a small introduction about what they do, and then after lunch, they'll tell you about the challenges, the opportunities, and whether you're going to join. But now Mr. News is going to give a brief introduction, and I think Madam Catherine, I think also you'll be able to give a brief introduction before lunch so that you get an idea of what we are going to get. And then I think also I'll give a brief idea about the introduction, and then we'll break for lunch and come back and pick it up from there. Unless people come backstage, they'll also give an introduction. Thank you. Mr. Niels, please.
Hello. Right. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to be here. Just arrived back to Sweden for 3 weeks ago after 2 months in Uganda. So I have been working with waste management in Africa for the last 10 years. We start up lots of companies in Tanzania, in Ethiopia, in Senegal, in Kenya. But after COVID, we had to close down everything because the political landscape was changed, and all of our projects, which was, some of them was founded by Swedish aid agency, etc., was closed down. So we lost lots of money. But waste is a really big challenge in all countries. And it's very complicated to work with waste and waste management. Because it's a so complex situation, right? But now we restart. When I lost all this money, we have started to think maybe our business model was not correct. So now we set up a cooperative where we educate and train waste people in Africa in our business model to identify climate compensation project and climate compensation fund. So we support, now we're working in Tanzania and Uganda and Ghana. That's where we are focused now. We are part of a bigger network. So in Uganda, we have signed an agreement with KCA, which is Kampala City, and with the Minister of Kampala to support them with a waste management strategy and how to provide a good solution for Kampala City and for Uganda, because our project is scalable. And so once we have set up a plant, then we can make this plant on other places. But waste management is a very, very complex business. So we have set up also an agreement with Kampala University to set up a climate and green competence education line. So we are starting up that. It's based on the European standard, but we will adapt it to the African standard. So we have a network of university from Kenya, Tanzania, Sweden, Germany, and also Ghana. And we also have set up a project for Entebbe, Kalangala Islands. There's a group of islands outside Entebbe, and most of these islands have no electricity. Many people they didn't even see light from electricity. So we have set up one project there. So we're looking for funding. But this is a very interesting project. So of a more philosophic way. What happens on an island when you get electricity, clean water, you have, this is a fishing area, and they also have lots of vegetables and fruits. So what's happening in an island when they get electricity? This is a very, very interesting question. So we addressed that, and we applied for money for that, for the university in Kampala to, as a study object. Is it not? All right. So, so on daily basis, we are working now with Uganda, and to create this kind of project, we need to have, first of all, financing. So we apply for lots of, from different kind of sources. But in Uganda specific, Sweden have decided to, together with Uganda, to invest 1.5 billion Swedish crowns for the next 5 years, okay? And the Swedish Embassy and Swedish Aid Agency runs this project. But the Embassy and Swedish Aid Agency, they didn't have started up to decide what they would spend all that money to. So I have taken delegations to the embassy to make presentation of very good project. And today I address the embassy here in Scandinavia to support Kampala City to sell in this business idea to these foundings. But as you know, since USA stopped all these actions in Africa, Sweden is also, Scandinavia was also following up. So there's a big hole now looking for money. There's many NGOs who's looking for the same money. So we have been contacted by other organizations who will transform their business from aid business into climate compensation business, and specific in water treatment, because water is a big issue. Not in Kampala, because you have Lake Victoria, which is a fantastic source, and that's. But if you go to Tanzania, Senegal, there's no water, so there's lots of issue with water. And then you have electricity, and today, to create a big solar park on 40, 60 acres, it's a good size of a profitable project financed by carbon credits. And this project runs for 20 years. So you earn money for 20 years if you get investment. If you have land you don't use, you can use it for many purposes. So that's what we are doing. We have a network. We have a very informative homepage, Nexus Africa, with specific Uganda page. So that's me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, before I introduce another panelist, I'm also among the panelists. So I am an organizations director. I lead an organization which is both in Uganda and in Denmark, Christian Best. We do outreaches and also stuff within the community. We started a Uganda culture class that started about 3 years, which has now been really enlarged to 26 children, and we have activities every Saturday. If you want to reach out, please, I'll gladly be able to give you directions. I was luckily the first chairman. My term ran for only 2 years, and now we have a very good chairman, Advocate Shamim Najuma. They all send their regards. They could not make it today. I am also a project manager and a social worker in the municipality where I live. So again, Maureen Melody. Moving on to Miss Catherine to come and also introduce herself. And we will hear more later. We are left with a few minutes to lunch. Gladly awaiting. Could you utilize 3? We will get more as you share with us later. Okay.
Thank you. My computer is running out of battery, so I have to.
Can we clap for Catherine?
Hello, my name is Catherine, as mentioned before. I used to live in Denmark, so but I moved to Sweden. Yeah, I've been here for some years, and I love community, and I love Uganda. So my message is a mixture. I mean, I'm a social entrepreneur, and I work with women groups in Uganda and also with other fair trade organizations in different African countries, and work with arts and crafts. So when I meet people who are entrepreneurs, I have it at heart. I really encourage collaboration with one another. I made a small presentation. I can show it. I'll just be reading it. And what is at heart is diaspora mindset. How true are we to ourselves and where we come from? Which opportunities and which challenges do we have? So I really hope that this is the start of collaboration, meaningful collaboration. And I was really happy to see that it was Stanbic that was here in the room. I'm a customer, and all the products they were talking about is I'm a witness to this with the women, the way they support the women, and I was prompted to open up with Stanbic through the women groups. I'm also a personal growth coach. It's also at my heart, and I have some few things there. It's like personal journals, reflecting on your life and growth. I mean, you can live in Scandinavia many years, but then when you go back home, you think, oh, what happened? All my friends, this is the story of many. All my friends seem like they moved on. What have I been doing? And this is part of the reality we have here, that you meet different challenges, but there is also opportunities. And just to encourage you that when you're here, you are exposed to many things, so you were a resource. So the three things which I thought about here as the diasporans is how do we reshape the landscape, and this is through the people, like the people we network with, the people around us. They have skills, you have the knowledge, so that is really important. And then the product, we have many products in Uganda, and we live here. Do you see, to just put on your eyes and see which products, which services can we have here, apart from just having jobs. I work as a translator here in Sweden, and that's something I do, but what is it I have from back home that I can bring here? And this also prompted me to work with women groups to start with the crafts, because all these things, we have many resources in Uganda that we can actually, like Ambassador said, that we are ambassadors here, where we are. And then the last thing that I think we grapple with is the process of how we do things. For example, like today, the timing, yes, we have to improve this, it's many processes. How can we go through the right channels? So it's really good to have, if we can share knowledge of different, we have nurses, we have accountants, we have business people. Can we share knowledge? Can we streamline those channels that we can't do things alone, we can't struggle alone, so that we can help one another. I think a lot of us have fear of failure, and some of us will say we lack resources, or sometimes we just resist change, You live here, but we know things are not so good maybe back home, but there is always a light in the channel, and then lack of collaboration. So those are some of the biggest challenges we have, and I hope that in the afternoon we'll be going through this. Yeah, and so I would encourage us to experiment with different things, encourage us to to be diverse. Like when we talk about finances, for example, we cannot just put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
So yes, when they give us opportunities like this, let's seek out the information and act. And if you're alone, maybe you can join with other people. Of course, it's always fishy, when you join with other people. But I think when you streamline things legally, then it's possible. I mean, I'm a member of like 2 investment clubs in Uganda, and it's possible, even if you're here. And like I say, seek feedback.
So he can introduce himself.
I think that's short from me, and I think we'll work together in the afternoon when we do the work groups, and hopefully we'll have some solutions at the end of the day. Yeah, thank you very much.
Catherine, I'm asking you on the microphone. I want you to be my friend. Yes, I like also doing work for the women. And we would have one more person who is online before we go for lunch. And we request that they are brief. However, afterwards, we do have our table reserved on the first floor in the restaurant. So you will be guided on how to go. So we're gonna listen to somebody who is online, and if he's ready, they can turn on their camera and address us, also tell us their views on what we're gonna share today.
Mr. Aligo.
Mr. Aligo.
Aligo.
Mr. Francis from Denmark.
Yeah, he's coming.
And he's a member of parliament. Which one, in Denmark or in?
That's what we need from him now.
That is very good. We need to.
Aligo. His camera is over there. No, he's the one who was standing.
As we're waiting for him to show up, like Catherine has said, that we should be diligent when it comes to our own things. We are ambassadors. So after 1 hour, please be a good ambassador and be back here on time. All of us. So that we don't spend a lot of time here. It would be nice if we have our lunch and we all meet back here in 1 hour. Let's welcome.
Am I clear and loud?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to recognize the representative of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency, the Ambassador, and the Deputy Ambassador, Mr. Simon, and the entire embassy, as well as the Stand Big Back representative, and of course the entire committee that has really done their tremendous work to get us here. The chairperson, Peter Kende. I'm so grateful to be a part of this platform. And yes, I'm Aligo Francis. I'm a teacher, a social worker, and as well a politician here, a politician in Denmark, a member of the Social Democrats. And I'm so grateful and honored. I don't want to forget all fellow Ugandans who are with us here, present in Stockholm, and those who are viewing us online via YouTube. I will better reserve my speech for later and what I'm really invited for. You get to know me better. Otherwise, fellow Ugandan from West Nile, the Kakwas, if you want to know more about me, think about Idi Amin. That is me. And the story is ending there. More of those will come later. So here I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the platform. Yeah.
I think now it's lunchtime. You're free to head up to the restaurant.
The Musumba is here to pray for the food.
Yeah, the breakfast is there.
No Musumba.
May the food do a great work in you. As we trust the hands which prepared it. Okay, it will be lovely to see you again here after 1 hour. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the only one we were at the president.
In the heart of Uganda is an institute designed to prepare students for rewarding careers in the vibrant hospitality industry. Copenhagen International Institute of Catering and Hotel Management is here to provide a solid foundation for Ugandans in catering, hotel management, knowledge and skills required to excel in various hospitality sectors. Our courses are designed by industry professionals to ensure that students learn from the best to create well-rounded graduates. We offer practical training and internships to students using state-of-the-art equipment which is used all over the world to prepare our learners for jobs both locally and internationally. We are located in Kisasi on Bahai Road, 8.7 kilometers from Kampala city center. Copenhagen International Institute of Catering and Hotel Management.
yeah. Kanjurupinge berengezanya.
Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers. Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers.
Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a session, and from Euroforum, we really do appreciate all the members who have been with us streaming live, representing Euroforum, and trying to do the service which was really called for. But we thank everyone who's been with us online and those who are still with us with the different platforms. It's really a plus. But more appreciation goes to the man in question who has made it happen, Bwana Peter Ntende, of which I would love you to at least throw one word as we go into another segment, because so far people have gone for lunch, and we felt it necessary to give us a little, a word, and then as we wait for the next encounter, please.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, our listeners online. And there are some good questions which we have noted down. We want to bring them back and address them to the panels. The challenge which we are having is like we have so much to present and so little time, and a lot of stuff is happening here in the room. People are so much engaged. So I really appreciate the people who are online, and I think you should still stay with us, despite the fact that we wanted people to have lunch here. So they have gone to get lunch. So I also encourage you to go and eat something, go out, walk a bit. And then what will happen is like at 2:30, we will be back online and we share. And please be more engaged because whatever you've heard from like a Islamic bank, or what you haven't even heard from me and other people, is that we want to go to the practicalities. How do we make sure that we really make some good money? There was a good question online actually, which we haven't tackled. Someone was saying, how could like a Islamic bank help young agricultural businesses start up?
Actually, yeah, where they can do a demonstration of farms and all that.
Exactly. So people who have those good ideas, the panelists will have good ideas, but if you have a good idea which you think is worth investing in, I think you had two investors here. Investors usually are just looking for opportunities. There were two investors I was trying to pull in, come and talk, but they didn't say much. But there are people here who are looking for good ideas for investment. And that's like what we are trying to look here, even if we get one person to invest. So if you have a good idea, put it online and we'll front it here. So in the next section, we'll try to make sure that we zero down a number of 1 or 2 ideas. Minimum, if we don't get anything, it will be an investment group where, like we say, people, we are going to invest in this group and we are going to make some good money or little money, whatever, or in stocks and stuff like that. Because even if you're already in an investment group, the more invest groups you are in, the better. So with those many words again, we are going to be back and we hope to see you.
Yes, in the next interlude we shall be having with this session, I guess you'll be getting even more information, which is really worth like a take home, because I believe the more encounters we have here, the more we add ideas, something better is really coming up. But from Euroforum, we say thank you and thank you very much for being with us every time. Just a quick reminder, every Sunday we're having sessions, but this time around this was really a package worth to be shared. And from that side, I also want to remind the people in the Nordics, besides this event today, we're having also a Euro tournament this coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, this tournament is really so massive, but keep on, doing the worth to network. And the purpose of this tournament is not only showcasing football and talent, but also networking. But that aside, let's come back in the next encounter as we go for lunch. And those people online, keep on the questions flowing, and we shall be coming back. And then just use the same link, then we shall be into the system. For now, aka Smoggy, Euroforum, we love you.
Welcome to Euroforum UG, where we address Ugandans from Europe, USA, Asia, Africa, Australia, and all over the globe. We share experiences, opinions, and expertise on current affairs, educative lifestyle, religion, and family matters. Follow, subscribe, and like our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Euroforum UG. You can also join our live shows every weekend on our social media platforms. For more information, visit our social media platforms or email us at euroforumug@gmail.com or WhatsApp us on +4740 574040. Euroforum UG, communicating with peers.